Welcome back, my friends, to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking a lot more in depth about the new Xbox Series X controller. In the last video we talked about a bunch of new information regarding the Xbox Series X itself. If you missed that video, go check it out. I'll try to link down in the description below, and it should be the video right before this one on my channel. But again, I will link it down in the description below if you guys have missed that. It's a pretty lengthy video because there is a lot to talk about, but definitely well worth it. So, Xbox Series X controller, you guys will see some screenshots throughout this video up on screen that we're going to kind of rotate through as we talk about all this stuff. So essentially, they wanted to keep the Xbox Series X controller true to what, you know, fans have kind of come to know and love, right? They didn't want to kind of screw with your muscle memory, if you will. They wanted to ensure that that muscle memory the players have built remains intact. So it looks very much like an Xbox One controller. And it will actually work with an Xbox One as well. So the first thing is compatibility. It's going to work with Xbox Series X, obviously. It's going to work with Xbox One, you know, Windows 10 PC, iOS, Android. And the cool thing is that something they're doing with the technological side of things of this controller, it's going to be able to remember multiple devices, and so switching between using this controller on multiple different devices is going to be a lot more seamless and a lot more easy to do, which is not something that I don't think we have that right now. It doesn't seem like we have that right now, because for me, I gotta always resync it to each device, and it just gets a little bit of annoying because the controller only remembers one device at a time. So it seems like that's going to be a lot more, you know, smooth in transitioning between different devices. Now, of course, you know, they were asked, why did you make these kind of design choices with the new wireless controller? Was it to be more inclusive to all players? And basically, yes. So, you know, obviously they made things like the adaptive controller for people with disabilities, which is an amazing controller. I haven't tried it, but it's obviously amazing for people who maybe cannot use a normal controller. And so they've tweaked a little bit of stuff here and there with the design of this new controller, so it can fit the hands of more, you know, like a wider range of people, right? All the way from, you know, adults to, you know, maybe like young kids, like an 8-year-old or something. So they kind of reshaped it a little bit here and there. So some of the ways that they've done that is things like, you know, rounding the bumpers, slightly reducing and rounding parts around the triggers, and just carefully sculpting the grips, just to kind of make sure that, you know, it's kind of something that can fit all kinds of hands, right? Like I said, if you're a little kid with small hands, you can fit you comfortably. If you're an adult, you're not going to feel like you're basically drowning the controller either. Like, it's a very fine line that they tried to kind of, you know, I guess hug, where they could try to be as inclusive to all kind of hand types as possible, I guess is the best way to put it, and all different kinds of play styles. So yeah, so that's really nice to hear. They've also changed things like the D-pad. Now, obviously, some people prefer just kind of like the, you know, the normal kind of like cross D-pad. And then other people need kind of like a better diagonal kind of D-pad. So sometimes people prefer like a disc kind of shape. And they learned a lot from that with the Xbox Elite controller. And so basically they kind of tried to create this hybrid. They're calling it the hybrid D-pad. So there's a cross D-pad, but, you know, there's also like a disc under it kind of thing, right? So you can sort of like hit those diagonal kind of moves. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, if you will. And they're trying to accommodate both play styles. So, and they kind of tried to look for that, you know, good balance between the two, and trying to make it feel really good. So hybrid D-pad looks good. I like it. Don't know how it feels. Obviously, I haven't got hands on with it yet. So again, in terms of, you know, connectivity and compatibility, how important that was to them. Obviously, it's very important to be able to, you know, switch between things like maybe you're playing xCloud, you know, on your phone. Anything, iOS, Android, you know, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, etc., etc. They want it to be compatible. Same thing with things like your accessories. So all your accessories for Xbox One are going to be backwards compatible, essentially, with this new controller, because it's going to have the same ports, kind of like at the bottom of the controller. So your chat pad, any like, I guess, chat headsets that you would use that would plug directly into the controller, just different things like that. They wanted to keep true to that. They wanted, you know, didn't want players to have to repurchase all these different accessories, which is amazing of them, obviously. You know, they've added different things like Bluetooth low energy, like I said, so that pairing to all these different devices is much easier. And again, the controller can remember multiple devices, so switching between these different devices is more seamless. USB-C port, basically, you know, very standard at this point. DLI, dynamic latency input, which we talked about a little bit in the Xbox Series X video. If you want to know more about that, check it out. But basically, just different ways that they're trying to reduce latency. A little bit of this kind of behind the scenes stuff you don't necessarily see, you know, right at the forefront, if you will. They've added new textures and finishes, which is basically a lot of stuff that's been inspired from some of the special series controllers, for example. You know, the new hybrid D-pad, you know, the way they've changed the bumpers and the triggers and stuff. They all have a matte finish as well to maintain a smooth, consistent feel, whether your hands are wet or dry. So that's another thing. And then finally, they added a share button in the very middle of the controller, which is definitely welcomed. I don't know if that's the right word. That's probably not the right phrase, but the point is, on Xbox Series X, it's been so annoying, and sometimes I just want to take a screenshot real quick, and I can't because I got to open up a menu, and it's so tedious. Whereas on PS4, you know, I just push the share button or hold it down, and it takes a screenshot, or, you know, it's different commands. You double tap it, it takes a video. And so they're adding a share button, so that's definitely going to be very useful moving forward. So that's pretty much it for now that we know about the controller. That's most of what they talked about. I'm going to leave the blog post in the description below if you guys want to read it all. But let me know what you guys think about this new controller. Let me know if you guys are excited for Xbox Series X. If you guys are, leave a like, subscribe if you guys new. I'll catch you guys very soon in another video. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next one, my friends, game on.